your percentage odds right now, you're suggesting it's going to go through, right?
I think so. I mean,
Yeah.
again, I'm putting faith in Speaker McCarthy and President Biden to deliver the votes. If the bill fails in the House, that's obviously a very bad outcome, and I think markets would react very negatively to that. But we should see the House
All right.
probably pass this Wednesday or Thursday.
We haven't had the nuts and bolts as yet, but tell me from what we do know, tell me what you make of the deal that's been struck. Was there, did one side or the other come out ahead?
Well, I think just the fact that there was a negotiation is in itself a win for Republicans. You'll recall that President Biden said that he was not going to negotiate on the debt limit. And then, in fact, he sort of was forced to do this once House Republicans passed their bill last month. So just the fact that they're negotiating it, I think, is a win for Republicans. The fact that the House Republican bill sort of was a template for the negotiations. The stories in Washington have just sort of been Monday morning quarterbacking, sort of second guessing on behalf of Democratic lawmakers here. Question sort of, how did they end up in this position? So, Democrats could have done this, done away with this when they had control of Congress during the end of last year, 2 years ago, and they chose not to.
Having said that, I mean, it's not as if McCarthy has won significant cuts in public spending. There's only a one-year freeze. We're going to get back to a rise in spending come 2024, 2025. And there's that whole defense budget, which is a massive increase in spending. So, the U.S. government debt situation is not going to improve as a consequence of this.
No, and you're right. I mean, 2/3 of spending is on mandatory entitlement spending. And then the fact that the defense got an exemption here, we're really only talking on minor limits in growth on the domestic side. So in terms of a market reaction, I think that's probably good compared to the 2011 situation where we had sequestration, which had massive cuts. I think there were some concerns that there'd be a fiscal drag that would slow the economic growth here in the U.S. This time, we're not talking about drastic cuts. We also have a lot of unspent, unobligated funding with respect to the Inflation Reduction Act, the CHIPS Act, as well as a bipartisan infrastructure bill that should provide some fiscal tailwind moving forward. But again, the fact that Republicans were able to secure some cuts and the fact that they were able to exempt defense from those cuts just politically is a win for them.